Hi everybody, LG here, and welcome to r/Am I the A-hole? This one's from user Crimpsy. Am I the a-hole for turning my partner's mother away? Context: I, 32 female, own my home. I started dating someone, 35 male, around 18 months ago, and his earnings were impacted by the pandemic, so he asked to move in with me. I wasn't 100% comfortable, but I agreed. It's been going fairly well. I haven't been able to get to know my partner's family the way I would if things had been organic. We met a few times and I've spoken to them via video call. They seem pleasant. Unlike him, I've been able to work from home for the past year, and the toll it took was that I gained weight. It's not a big problem, but I bought some equipment and committed to working out at lunchtime 3 times a week. Yesterday, I had an unexpected knock at the door around lunchtime. It was my boyfriend's mother. She said she was in the area and decided to come for lunch so we could get to know each other better. I told her I had plans, working out, then showering, but that if she wanted to arrange something in advance another day, I'd really like to spend some time with her. She seemed a bit shocked, but she left without incident. When my significant other got back from work, he erupted the second he got through the door. His position is that his family are welcome anytime in his home, whether he's there or not. He is not prepared to budge on that. My position is that if someone turns up unannounced, they don't get to be offended when someone doesn't invite them in. As I'm free to be honest here, I do not consider this his home. Our agreement is that he pays for half of the bills, energy, internet, water, etc., but the mortgage is mine. It's my home. He's here because he couldn't make rent, and ultimately, if I don't like unannounced visits, then they don't happen. He's been calling me a narcissist and saying that I'm on a power trip, etc. Whereas I think I'm enforcing a perfectly sensible boundary. Am I the a-hole here? And the community's judgment is not the a-hole, OP. You're good. Now let's carry on with those top community comments to see what they said. Fugly on the first says, not the a-hole. You gave him an inch, let him move in when you weren't 100% okay with it. He's trying to take a mile. This is my house and this is what I expect of you. Here's your crap, mate. Don't let the door hit you on the way out. OP responds, this is the perfect description. I gave him a place to stay and he's taking my house as his very own. He's currently sat upstairs in the bedroom stewing about it a day later. And he's only coming down to get food and drinks and make a big thing of banging around. It's pretty horrible and it is making me feel really awkward. The devil in me wants to go up there and tell him that he doesn't get to do that, but I've had enough of being called a selfish narcissist, power tripper, blah blah for now. The more the comments come in, the more feisty I'm feeling about it though. Bored Again 0410 says, not the a-hole. This type of arguing would be a deal breaker for me. He doesn't get to dictate that his family is allowed to come over when he's not home and expect you to entertain them. Getting called a narcissist? OP responds, I'm an only child and didn't spend much time with my parents when I was young. He sees this as me having a broken idea of what it means to be part of a family and claims that I've never learned to care about or think of anyone except myself. I have a really good relationship with and contribute to the well-being of my mother, who happens to have some mental health issues, so I don't think that the looks pretty effed up on paper take really applies. This comment is a very long-winded way of saying that I really don't appreciate him claiming I'm a narcissist. Caro SCP says, not the a-hole. If it doesn't like it, I guess he could go and live somewhere where it's just his opinion that counts. OP responds, I think that part of why I feel like I may be the a-hole is that this is exactly how I feel. It's my house. Oh wow, OP. First of all, not the a-hole. Now, there is so much to unpack here, so please bear with me. And if you don't want to listen to my commentary, that's totally cool. You can always use the timestamps to skip to the next story. Anyways, first things first, the mother. Going uninvited, surprise, surprise, here I come. No, that's not how you get to do things. You don't just get to barge into somebody's home because you're the mother of their partner. They can't turn you away and you don't get to complain. You did not call or anticipate your visit. You were absolutely in the right to tell her that she couldn't come in and that if she wanted to schedule something with you, that was the best option. So of course, not the a-hole in that front. Now to your partner. Please raise your hand if you thought he was an entitled douche. First of all, his whole attitude since he walked in the door? What's up with that? He just took his mother's word for the whole thing, didn't even ask you anything, and started accusing you of being a narcissist. No. This thing would be very different if you guys had a conversation before he moved in where you both agreed that yeah, he could treat this as his own home as well. But apparently you haven't, so he's still a guest. He is your partner, but he is a guest. Now he's all pouty and banging things around and making you feel uncomfortable in your own home? No, dude, do not behave like a 35-year-old child. And on top of that, he took one part of your life and decided to make a diagnosis that you are a narcissist and going on a power trip? Now, from any angle that you slice this thing, you are not the a-hole OP and your partner is absolutely wrong with everything he's doing. So it's simple, here's what I would do. I would sit him down and set him straight. If he doesn't like it, he can go get his own place. And if you OP think that this is a relationship that you really want to work on, then this kind of thing can't fly. Whew. Okay, that was definitely too much from me. So, what do you guys think about this whole situation? What would you do if you were OP? Let me know in the comment section, and let's continue with the next story. This one's from user CookieMonster1420. Am I the a-hole for telling my mom, you get what you get and you don't throw a fit? I, female 24, live with my parents with my kid. I pay my own way in terms of rent and bills, support my kid, and work full time. They do not provide for me or my little family. On to the issue. My mom expects dinner to be ready when she gets home. My dad is indifferent. He'll ask if I've planned anything, and if I haven't, he will pick something up on his way. The other night, I made tilapia, and the conversation went like this. What's for dinner? Mom says. Tilapia, tater tots, and corn. I don't like fish. Okay, I'm sorry. I thought tilapia was one you did like. No, I don't like fish. I've never liked fish. Okay, noted. So, what are you gonna do? Nothing. I don't make separate meals for everybody's tastes. At this point, my kid is paying attention, and I struggle getting kiddo to eat what I make. I didn't see this going somewhere that would be helpful. Wow, seriously? When we were kids, you did not cater to everybody's taste. You can make something else if you don't want fish. I worked all day. So did I. You get what you get and you don't throw a fit. You are welcome to make a peanut butter and jelly if you don't like what's served. This is the rule for my kid. Don't like what's being served? Try a bite. Still not a fan? Feel free to make a quick PB&J and join me at the table. How dare you! Don't treat me like a child! Then stop acting like one. At this point, I left and went to the table to eat with my kid. She tried to follow me and was stopped by my dad. I don't think I did anything wrong, but she glares at me every time I walk through the house and refuses to talk to me. My dad said he doesn't think I was wrong, but wants me to apologize to keep the peace. I've since stopped making dinner for anybody except my kid, which honestly seems to piss her off even more. Am I the a-hole? And the overall community consensus is, no OP, you are not the a-hole. So let's continue with the top community comments to see why this is. Winidi says, not the a-hole. You are not keeping the peace if you apologize. Instead, you should have a conversation with your mother about how she is free to share a meal with you, but it will be what you made and not what she thinks should be made. And OP responds, I like this answer. She actually used to make requests like, hey, I've really been feeling like pasta. If you get a chance to make dinner this week, I'd appreciate a pasta dish. If it's respectful, then I have no issue accommodating that sometimes. I'm not sure where the nosedive into entitlement and demanding things came from. Deletion says, not the a-hole, lol. Well, you're not wrong. My favorite is saying, want in one hand and crap on the other. See which one fills up first. Lol, my dad used to say that to me. OP responds, that's a hilarious saying. Sweater Heifer says, I think it's hilarious that she wouldn't be a short order cook when you were growing up but expects you to cater to her preferences. Not the a-hole. Are you paying market value for the rent at your parents' place though? I can see her trying to hold that over your head if you don't. OP responds, we actually split it 50-50 because I have 3 people living here. Myself and 2 kids. And they have 3 people living here, themselves plus their youngest daughter. Other bills are split the same, and we share streaming services. I pay for Hulu and Disney Plus, they pay for Netflix, and we share. OP's edit, since it came up a lot. This is not my parents' house. We rent the home 50-50, and I'm on the lease with my father. We both have good reason for the arrangement. My only obligation moving together with them was that I take care of my responsibility. It est kids. Making dinner for them every night was not a condition of the agreement. Absolutely not the a-hole, OP. I mean, honestly, your mom's entitlement is too much on this one. I get that because you were nice enough to make dinner every day, that she would think, oh well, this is now a new obligation. But it's not, and you set her straight. Good for you. The fact that you're her daughter doesn't mean that she can treat you like a kid and tell you what to do. At least, not anymore. You are a grown-up with kids of your own. I think it's cool that your dad had your back at the moment, but I don't think it's cool that he expects you to apologize to keep the peace. If anything, it's your mom the one that should be apologizing for her behavior because she was out of line. Not just that, she behaved that way in front of your kid, setting a really poor example. But what do you guys think? Do you think OP was the a-hole, or do you think she needs to apologize to her mom to keep the peace? Let me know in the comment section, and now let's continue with the next story. This one's from user NervousTomato7382. Am I the a-hole for telling my daughter that a social media influencer isn't a real job? I'm a father of two. One, Sam, 25 male, and Kate, 24 female. Sam is currently working as a business analyst. I'm a single dad and I've raised both of them since birth. Their mother died unfortunately after a few years due to a car accident. Kate graduated high school 6 years ago. When Kate was 18, she didn't know what she wanted to do professionally, and I told her that she is free to go into any field she desires. So then, she decided that she would become a social media influencer, and when she told me that, I said, okay. As I didn't want to discourage her, and at the time, she was in university pursuing an English degree. Later, she decided to drop out and focus on another career path, and she worked as an HR intern to gain some experience to start an HR career, as she was interested in because I did it. I'm an HR director and have worked in HR for 20 years. She worked as an HR intern for a few months, paid, and then suddenly she decided to quit and work on social media influencing. Now, I'm not going to stop her from pursuing what she wants to, and I said, sure. So she starts posting on Instagram, and the only followers she has are her 1,000 followers, all from high school. From then, it's been around a few years and she is still at 1,000 followers. Yesterday night, I am sitting on the sofa watching TV and Kate sits next to me and she tells me, Dad, I'm not getting any followers on Instagram and nor am I earning any money. Why is this happening? What is going on? What will I do with my life? How do I TikTok? Instagram celebrities become so successful. What are they doing that I am not? And then she just puts on a sad face. I tell her, Kate, social media influencer isn't a real job, kiddo. If you want to make actual money, you should work a job. It's quite difficult to earn a living off of social media. What those TikTok, Instagram celebrities did took them years of work and effort to make themselves successful, and to the point they can make a living off of it. What you should have tried to do is work on a job and on the side, continue on with the Instagram and TikTok like a side hustle. And once your side hustle makes more than your actual job, you can make your side hustle your income. Now, Kate lives with me under my roof. I pay for her food and basic necessities. I don't have a problem with paying that. She's my child, and as a father, it's my responsibility to take care of her regardless of her age, etc. Now, my father, grandfather, and so on all died during their mid-60s. It runs in the family because all of us have a congenital heart condition. I'm not in my 60s yet, but will be in a few years, and along with the condition, it means that my body weakens with age. And there will be an increase in disability for me and eventually death. Kate ended up sobbing and she went to her room and called her aunt while crying, and then her aunt called me an a-hole for telling Kate that social media influencer is not a real job. Her aunt then yelled at me for an hour on the phone and a couple of not so nice words and said I'm being a bad father. Am I the a-hole? Also, please forgive my English and I apologize for the long post. And the community's judgment is not the a-hole OP. Now let's go take a look at their top posts to see why this is. Blueberry XXOO says, "Oh my god, not the a-hole. You sound like a wonderful and supportive father. She may be a little immature for her age, as this is something she should have figured out on her own at this point. Saying you want to be a social media influencer is kind of like saying you want to be a pop star. Pursue it, that's awesome, but have a plan B and work on both. If she loves social media, there are wonderful jobs where you are in charge of the social media for a company. I wonder if she could pursue a career doing that while she works on her influencer stuff. She may have to go back to school, I don't know." Opie responds, "Yeah, I didn't have anything against her plans, but pursuing her social media career, etc., no problem. But it'd be advisable for her to have something that she can lean back on, such as a degree or a trade, etc. Solely social media might not be the correct lifetime choice, unless she plans on pursuing a degree years from now." Real Farfale Alfredo says, "Not the a-hole, because you are correct. It's not a job, it's a hobby." Strawberry 12 says, "Not the a-hole. Honestly, influencers make it seem so easy, and unfortunately, it's catered more towards teens. Then those teens grow up to be the talk of social media where they hang out with other celebrities and become well known, but not entirely well known. The only luck that she can have is through makeup. Makeup influencers gain followings fast, but if she can't compete with the other audiences who keep up with the trends of fashion and such, then she's at a loss. Maybe she can freelance something else." Opie responds, "Indeed, it is quite difficult to make a living from social media. Sure, it can be a great career, but it's not that stable, whereas if she learned a trade or a degree, etc., it could be valuable for her in the future, and it could be used as something that she can lean back on if her social media or other plans don't work out." Opie's edit: "When I wrote, 'Kate, social media influencer isn't a real job, kiddo,' I did not intend to mean that it's not a job and it's bad. I didn't mean that. I implied that it's a difficult profession to actually make a living off of it. I do understand that it's not an easy job to do working as a social media influencer. It isn't easy, and for the last few years she's been ranting and complaining to me about how she is not earning any money from it, which is why I explained it to her that it is not a real profession in that sense, as it's a career that isn't that stable. Example with the app Vine. It was quite popular and people were earning well, but then what Vine wasn't able to sustain numerous stars or influencers fell off, and now what?" Well, Opie, like the majority of the community, I don't believe you're the a-hole. I believe you're a concerned father that's looking out for his daughter. Here's the thing. Living off of content, whether it is social media influencing, music, art, movies, even YouTube videos, is not easy and requires a lot of work. Now, in the case of your daughter, being at 1,000 followers for a few years and not gaining any new followers or maybe just shifting followers, then she needs to realize that she's either doing something wrong or it's not gonna happen. You need to figure out what people want to follow, what people want to talk about, what people want to see. You need to take a look at your analytics and see when it's the best time to post, what content should you be posting about, and all that stuff. It's not just about posting pictures on Instagram or making a TikTok video and doing that every day and you're gonna be famous. No, it requires work, like every other job in any other industry. If it were my daughter, I'd say the same. Get a degree to have something to fall back on in case your plan A doesn't work out. But once again, that's enough out of me. So now I ask you guys, what do you think about this? Let me know in the comment section if you think OP's being an a-hole or a bad dad, or if he's doing the right thing. And on that note, it's time to say that we've once again reached the end of the video. So if you did like this video, please go ahead and click like on it. It really helps the channel when you do that. And of course, if you haven't become a part of this community, but you really want to, it's super easy, just click subscribe. And if you want to engage even more with this awesome community, then all you need to do is just join us in the Discord server. There's a link in the description, along with other links that may be interesting for you. And finally, thanks so much for watching this video. It really means a lot to me that you guys like this content. And having said all that, I'll see you guys on the next video.